Welcome back, or welcome if you are new here and this is your first time. I'm so grateful and honored that you are tuning in, and I am especially excited for this episode because it's inspired by a really great question that I got from someone in my community on Instagram. Someone direct messaged me, and I know this is something that a lot of you have also wondered about too. So I'm very excited to dive in. But here is the question. So she said, "Hi, Maya, I'm Miri. I was wondering if I could ask you this question that's confused me for years. When you put out free content, how do you decide what info to post for free and what info to keep for your paying clients? When you post, do you ever hesitate to share top secret info that's worthy of getting paid for free? Or do you give out every and any information for free in your posts? Thank you so much for your time and insights." This is a great question, and it's one that I've asked myself many times in the past. And honestly, I still do reflect on it sometimes as my business grows and evolves. And here's the thing, which I know you hate hearing, but I just have to say it. There's no perfect cut and dry answer to this question. If you ask 10 different people about it, you're going to get 10 slightly different answers. That being said, though, I want to give you a general starting point to guide you, and then from there you can experiment and find what works best for you and your business and the way that you want to show up in your free content. Now, the simplest way to think about free versus paid is this: information for free, implementation for a fee. Or another way to put it is share the what and the why for free, but charge for the how. So your free content is where you're going to build trust. It's how you show your audience that you understand their struggles. It's what's going to draw them in, right? That visibility and reach piece for your business. And it gives them a taste of what it's like to learn from you. So how are you teaching them? But why people actually pay you is not just for information. What people pay for is your experience. So all the wins and the mistakes and challenges and lessons that you've learned along the way, they pay for your perspective. So your unique way of solving problems and explaining things, your organization, because you've already curated and tested and streamlined the information into something that's actionable. So it's all in one place for them. You've done the research and the testing. They pay for your framework. It's a proven system that they can trust to get results. And they pay for time savings and energy saving because no one wants to spend hours and hours and hours Googling or just piecing things together on their own. And lastly, they're going to pay for support and accountability to keep them on the right track, to help them navigate when things get tough. But above all of that, and this is really important, they're paying for transformation. And what a lot of people don't understand is that information alone doesn't create results. Action is what creates results. And so when someone invests in your offer, they're not just buying the knowledge, they're not just buying the information, they're buying the tools and the structure and guidance to actually implement it so that they can have a transformation. Now, what should you be sharing for free? Your free content should help your audience understand, number one, what their problem is, and number two, why solving it is important, why they should take action, why they should choose you, why now. You're planting the seed, you're inspiring them, you're helping them feel seen, and you're showing them that change is possible. The how is the specific steps, tools, deeper insights. That is what belongs in your paid offer. So again, the what and the why, free. The how do you actually implement it? How do you actually see results? How do you get to that transformation? That is inside your paid offer. Now, I want to share a quick story. This is a true story that happened to me last year that really solidified this for me. So last year, I was consuming someone's podcast like crazy. I was listening to all their episodes, and I loved what they were putting out. I was literally eating it up. I listened to, I want to say almost all the episodes, and there was like a lot of episodes. Their episodes were packed with value. I loved it. And so when they were launching a paid offer, I didn't even think twice about joining. I was like, yeah, I'm in, sign me up. And here's where things got interesting though. So inside of their paid offer, I noticed a lot of the main concepts and even actually specific examples that they shared were things that I had already heard on their podcast episode, which their podcast is free. But I wasn't mad about it, and I didn't throw a fit or ask for my money back. And something interesting here is even though their free content was amazing, I hadn't actually done anything with it. So even though the concepts, not saying everything was the same inside their paid offers and their free content, not that was not the case whatsoever, but a lot of the main concepts and even specific examples, I hadn't done anything with it listening to their podcast because I was just consuming, right? But when I paid for their offer, I actually started implementing. I had skin in the game and I wanted to make my investment worthwhile. And that's when it really clicked for me that people who pay attention. And this isn't just me. Some of the biggest names in business actually use this similar approach to what I just recognized in that scenario that I had happen to me last year. So Seth Godin, if you don't know who that is, look him up. He's huge. So he shares so much free information through his blog. In fact, actually, most of the chapters in his books can be found online if you're willing to dig for them. But his books, like This Is Marketing, that's the title of one of his books, they sell so well because they're curated and organized in a way that's easier to consume. Another example, Alex Hormozi, you've probably heard of him. He gives incredible value away for free on social media. I think he posts like multiple times a day on Instagram. He has a podcast, all sorts of different things. So much free value. But his book, $100 Million Offers, that's the title of the book, is wildly popular because it takes the same ideas and it puts them into a really clear step-by-step framework. So it's just all compiled in one place. And then the good old Jenna Kutcher, I've talked about her many of times. I love her to death. She gives away, again, tons of free tips on her podcast. She then sells paid offers like Pinterest Lab or List to Launch that go in more in depth into actually how to implement what it is that she's teaching, right? And so the offer, it gives you everything basically packaged up with a little bow on top. I want you to think about this. If I sat you down or I walked you into a library and I said, okay, in order to get the information that you want or to get the transformation that you want specifically, I need you to look at one page in 100 different books. You actually have to go out and find those books. I'm not actually going to tell you which books those are. They're out there. I've written all of these books. It's really great information, but you have to piece it all together yourself in order to learn about this and get this transformation that you want. You'd be like, I do not have time for that, right? But if I told you, well, actually, I have it all compiled into one book, you'd be like, yeah, just give me that one book, right? And that's your paid offer. But what I do want to mention here, like I did in one of my previous episodes, that you should give value for free, but don't forget to sell, is that the balance of giving and selling is what builds a sustainable business. So your free content is what's going to draw people in, but your paid offers are what drive transformation and, as you know, the revenue, right? So the creators that I just mentioned, Seth and Alex and Jenna, they don't just give the value, they also invite their audience to take that next step after they've consumed that value, whether that's buying a book or joining a course or signing up for coaching or whatever the offer is that you're selling. They're constantly showing up, showing people how they can actually go deeper. So how, right, they can learn more, how they can actually get the transformation they want. Now, here's one more way to think about the difference between free and paid content. So your free content is like a zoomed out map, zoomed out. It's an overview of the landscape that shows your audience where they are now, where they want to go, and what's actually possible for them. Now, sometimes your free content might zoom in on one fun, popular area of the map, a detailed but small section that's easy to consume. But your paid content, though, is the complete map. It gives the step-by-step directions, the detours to avoid, the tools that people are going to need to actually reach the destination that they want to reach, and all the insights to really help them reach that destination. And if you have an offer one-on-one services or a mastermind or a mini mind or chat support, you can think of that as the GPS providing personalized guidance to get them exactly where they want to go. That was a lot. Hopefully that helped to really clarify things, though, when it comes to what do you charge for versus what are you sharing for free. And as always, if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot me an email or a direct message.